Wow. That's all I can say to that. And that is so encouraging, especially when the only thing for the most part you hear about black men in particular is that they're good for nothing. And that just is not true. I don't care what the numbers say, that's just not true. Because, truth be told, the numbers of a Dr. Webb, those numbers are not reported. The only numbers that are reported are those who are in jail or those who are in the street. But for whatever reason, and I know the reason, the number of us who are doing above and beyond, those who are meeting and exceeding expectations, those numbers are not reported. Now I have some there's no I've been for ever since this whole Ferguson and ever since now the New York decision and all that, I've been trying to get my thoughts together for how I want to write my blog post, because I am going to write a post on it, but my views are not going to be one that's popular. It's just not. There is no question we have some bad police officers out there. I mean, this whole thing with Commissioner Bratton talking about we're going to do training, that just does not sit well with me, only because how much training is there? Those officers have already been trained. So it's not just a matter of training. They're not applying what they've been trained, unless what they've been trained to do is what they're doing, which is killing folks. That's the problem I have with training. Because what are you telling me when those officers went through the academy? What are you telling me when the officers have already gone through refresher training? So this whole thing about I'm going to take our entire New York City police squad through training, no, that don't sit well with me. It just does not. Because that's not saying that. Because I can tell you what's going to happen in the training. Because this is what happened in most of our trainings. They're going to sit there. They're going to be texting. They're going to be smirking. They're going to be doodling. They're going to be doing everything else because in their minds, they're going to be saying, why do we have to go through this? In their minds, they're going to be thinking, this is not me. It does not apply to me. In their minds, it's, we're just doing this because Chief said we got to do it. Because the commission said we got to go. So, they're going to go in there. I can't believe we got more training again. So that's why this training thing does not sit well with me. Just to get up there. That's a cute buzzword. That's a cute little phrase. Oh, we're going to put them through training. We're going to put them through professional development. That's cute, but it's not that. What has to change is some heart changes. What has to change are some mindset changes. What has to change is I can't be afraid just because that's a black person. What has to change is I can't be scared because the alleged perpetrator is big and black. I can't be afraid. See, I'm telling you, there's a bad combination there when you got scared white cop and black man. That's what's causing all this shooting, is fear. It's fear. That's what it is. I'm afraid. So some mindsets have to be changed, and that's not going to come through training. That's not going to come through professional development. That's not going to come through that. It's just not. So that, to me, we're going to put the entire department through training is lame. Now that's that side. There's the other side too. African American men, boys, and anybody for that nature, you need to, for that matter, you need to stop putting yourself in position where you're going to come across a police officer because you were doing something wrong. That's got to stop. We must teach. We're going back into the training. We have got to now, again, back in the mindset shift. We don't need to be robbing stores. We don't need to be out here acting like thugs and thuglets. We don't need to be out here breaking the law, because when you put yourself in that position and now this happens to you, we're not winning that case. That's apparent. That is clear. You're not winning that case, because in the Eric Garner case, they had a video. Now the video thing is ranging all the way back to the Rodney King days, whenever and before. And we haven't won with a video yet. That's why even President Obama talking about we're going to buy body cameras for every police officer in the country. You had a video in the Eric Garner case and it didn't do anything. You had a video way back years ago in the Rodney King case. That didn't do anything. You've had videos upon videos upon videos, and you still have juries that are not indicting. You still have juries that are not convicting, even with video. If you look at these cases, when they're going all the way back to the OJ case, if you go back to the OJ case, when the OJ jurors said OJ was not guilty, they talked about changing the judicial system, the jury selection system. Those jurors were called dumb. Those jurors were called stupid. Those jurors were called inadequate. Those jurors were called every name in the book. But I have yet to hear anyone say anything about these jurors in the Ferguson case. I haven't heard anyone say anything about the jurors in this Staten Island case. So how are these jurors any different from the OJ jurors? So there's a whole lot of dynamics going on there. It's not just a matter of police brutality. It's not just a matter of black men, Black Lives Matter. It's not just a matter of don't shoot. It's a whole lot of other things that need to occur. Those of us black men, stay out of situations that's going to cause you to come across a police officer's path. In the last few weeks or so, we've had just about every scenario going. One of them is the exception if they find it to be true, because I'm not sure if the story is even true or not. But we've had the case in Ferguson, that was Michael Brown, where allegedly he was stealing from a store and taunting the officer and the store owner. You had that case. Then you had the Eric Garner case where allegedly he was selling loose cigarettes. Okay, not a big deal, but probably shouldn't have been doing it. But clearly on that video, you can see this man put a chokehold on him. And not only was there a chokehold, when he took him down to the ground, he smashed his head into the sidewalk and held it there with the man saying, "I can't breathe." That's not training. All right. Then you had the situation in Ohio, in Cleveland, where the young man was 12. Now, should he have been out there with a fake gun? No. Should he have been out there aiming something that looked like a gun at people? No. But the caller did say, I'm not sure if that weapon is fake or if it's real. I'm not sure. Now, he said that. The dispatcher did not relay that information. This officer comes, they open fire, and then when he makes his report, he says, we have a 20-year-old. This is a 12-year-old kid. He said, we have a 20-year-old. So we had that instance. Then we had an instance in New York where 2 rookie police officers were up in the stairwell. Now, my question on that is, why would you have 2 rookies together if that's the case? I don't know. Allegedly, they were grabbing for flashlights or something else, and the young man's coming up the steps, walking his girlfriend up the steps. He gets hit. You have 4 different scenarios there with 4 men dead. Think about that. You have 4 different scenarios. One of them might be the exception because it's rare that someone is not just doing anything gets killed by a police officer. That somebody's just walking their girlfriend up the steps. That's rare. But now in the other situations, we put ourselves in harm's way. And that's, in my mind, we've got to stop putting ourselves in the police officer's harm's way. And that's why I'm saying I know my position on the blog is not going to be a popular one, so I'm just trying to get my wording together of how I want to put that together so people understand there's more than just one side to that issue. There's a whole cacophony of things. There's a whole orchestra of things that are going wrong. And people are getting tired. They're getting tired of the same old script. Black man kill, white cop gets off. They're getting tired of that script. That's why you're seeing what you're seeing with all the different protests going around the country. Things are not good. They are not good. If we keep on fooling around here, we are going to have the riot of riots. You're going to have folks that are going to begin to take on that Nat Turner spirit. You may get me, but doggone it, we're going to take some of you with us. I'm telling you, if we can't turn this thing around, if we can't turn this, I don't know what to call it. If we can't turn this around, that's why I was so inspired this morning by being able to talk to Dr. Webb, being able to talk to Antonio this morning in spite of all of everything else that's going on in the world. That's a beacon of hope. That's a beacon of light right there. Antonio Webb is a beacon of light in what's been a lot of darkness concerning black men, no pun intended. With that being said, we're going to put on the good news, and so I just had to get that out. I had to get that off. I listen to talk radio all the time, and I hear all this other yin yang. A lot of my colleagues on different stations be talking. I won't name names, but I can. You probably know who many of them are, because they're much bigger names than mine. But I know they can talk some nonsense, and most of the time they're talking the other way. But see, I'm giving it to you straight on my view on both sides of the coin. There's some things that we are doing wrong, and there's certainly some things that some of the police officers are doing wrong. So the training thing, that's just not enough for me. I'm sorry. It just for Bill Bratton to be standing proud talking about they're going to go through training, that does nothing for me. All right, we're going to put on the good news and song, do everything we need to do in the 7 o'clock hour. We'll be